Good morning, everybody, and welcome once again to the Academy of Holistic Manual Medicine. I'm Dr. Keith Barber. Today I want to talk about feelings and go through some specific examples of how we can dissect a feeling into its major parts. Remember, there's always two sides to every coin. One side extremely simple, the other side infinitely complex, and then the truth, which is greater than the sum of the parts. The truth of the feeling is your experience of it, what it means to you. The easy side of a feeling is the emotion, the physical energy your body has created. There's only three, and they're universal. We all experience rage, adrenaline-like energy, for survival, to prevent loss, and 2, sorrow, energy for healing from loss, and 3, joy, energy to transcend the daily grind and experience life in its fullest. So the simple side of every feeling is 1, 2, or 3 emotions. The complex side is what we think about it, what we believe about the situation. Infinitely complex, infinite possible thoughts and beliefs, most beliefs unconscious, still, however, controlling the flow of our energy. So the thought gives the emotion direction for expression. The first feeling to talk about is fear. Fear is the first enemy. Fear stops us from doing what we need to do, stops us from expressing ourselves. Fear is a feeling, so there's 2 major parts. The emotion is rage. Your body has made energy to prevent a loss, a perceived threat to your survival, to your happiness, to your quality of life. The body makes rage. Now, if you believe that you cannot survive this threat, that expressing the rage will result in a loss, then energy for survival in the direction of thought, not going to survive, locks up. And you have no motion. And you experience fear. And in reality, you bring on that threat because you're not confronting it. So fear is the first enemy. It's the first feeling I want you to think about. Overcome fear simply by changing your mind. Override those beliefs that say, I can't, I won't, I'll fail, and just believe, I will survive. I will make it. I can win. Change your mind. Release the rage. Now, anxiety is defined in the psychiatric textbook as a free-floating fear. So we already know the anatomy of anxiety. It's rage that's created for survival and controlled by a belief that says I can't survive this threat. The difference here is anxiety is free-floating. It's not attached to a present time threat. It's held in the body by that belief that says you can't express or I will lose. So it's a fear that's hidden in the body. When it surfaces and you experience it again as a feeling, it's anxiety. So the difference is fear, there's a threat. Anxiety, don't know where it's coming from. Same anatomy. Release the rage, change the thought. What about anger? Threat to your survival, threat to your well-being, your sense of wholeness, your happiness, your love. Threat of loss of love. Your body makes rage. If you believe that that threat is because of an outside thing or person or situation, then that's blame. And when you have rage controlled and moving in the direction of blame, then the actions are to stop the cause of the threat, and the feeling is anger. Anger is rage plus blame. What about depression? Depression is rage turned inward, or by the psychiatric textbooks, anger turned inward. So we know the definition and anatomy of anger. So if the body is producing rage in order to survive, and it's determined by the mind, the being believes that the threat is one's own self, then that energy turns against one's own self, and it is totally internalized. There's no outward motion at all. It goes in and starts breaking down cellular defenses, homeostatic load. So depression is anger turned inward, or blaming oneself. Frustration is a common feeling. Again, rage for survival. I need to do this, with the belief, the thought, the idea that I can't do that. I have to do that, can't do that. I've tried and failed, tried and failed. So you've got this rage and this thought controlling it that says, can't. The feeling is frustration. Now, when we go into more complex feelings like jealousy, this is two emotions, rage and sorrow. Rage because of a perceived threat to quality of life. Jealousy is the belief that because you have this, I can't. And the sorrow because I've lost what you have. So the solution is change your mind. Express the energy, rage and sorrow. Envy, very similar, but not as harmful. Rage and sorrow, but the belief is, I don't have what you have. Not because you have it, I can't, but just that I don't have that. So there's some sorrow, and there's some rage, because you want that. So express the energy and change your mind.